Greetings YouTube, this is Kevlar Chicken, as promised, coming in with another folding knife review. In this case, the PumaTec by Solingen. So, today I will be reviewing what is my official AISI folding knife, the PumaTec by Solingen, Germany. A knife company I very much like, not sponsored, but I will put the link in the description down below in case you're interested in this knife. So you can see it comes in this nice little box, and this is a very minor detail, but I do appreciate it. They put a place for your finger so you can pop this out easily, and it sits in this nice little, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's soft, so for shipping purposes it's nice. And also for collecting purposes, this box is, it's just thick cardboard, but it does the job. Now, the main characteristics of this knife are: the blade steel is AISI 420. I'm assuming stainless. I did not see on the site. For those of you who don't know, AISI is American Institute of Steel. So that's what it stands for. So it's 420 stainless, I'm like 99% sure. And the blade length is 82 millimeters or 3.23 inches. I don't know which countries the people are watching this from, so I will cover both imperial and metric systems as best as I can in my videos. Not in all of them, but as best as I can. So, as I was saying, blade length 82 millimeters or 3.23 inches. The weight is 150 grams or 5.29 ounces. And as I have already said, the blade steel is 420 stainless. In terms of weight, this is fine. It's maybe a bit on the heavy side, but not really. You don't feel the weight, and I'm guessing that's why they did these little cutouts, so it would have been way too bulky if they didn't have the cutouts. But they are made properly. They are towards the end of the knife, which weakens it less. It still weakens it, but it weakens it a lot less because this is the thicker part, as you can see. Now, I will put the full characteristics down below in the description, but I just wanted to mention the main ones that I like. Now, I will move down to why this has been my AISI knife. Now, first of all, this opens very easily. It's smooth and closes very easily. Like, I don't have any other folding knife in this price range that does this so easily. I forgot to mention, but the price, it's gonna be in the description down below anyway, but currently on their site it's 22 euros. So, they're Germany, it's a company based in Europe, so they're gonna work in euros. What I personally like about this knife is that it's held up very well despite constant use and carry. Throughout 2 years I've used this as an improvised cooking knife. I've used it to cut pizza boxes whenever we ordered with my friends, and we wanted to move the top out of the way. And I don't know, I've just randomly used it to cut paper, just for the fun of it. I've also used it as an improvised bushcraft knife. Got salami with it. You get the idea. This has been actually used. It hasn't been babied. And the only thing that bothers me is that there's a slight wiggle that does not go away even when I tighten the bolts, but it hasn't gotten worse over time and it's still completely usable. So I'm gonna give this like an 8.5 out of 10, and it would have been a 9 if this mechanism right here wasn't a bit iffy. Now, the other thing I don't particularly like is this thing curves a little bit. You can see it's not a straight edge, and that makes it harder to cut some things. It makes it look more tactical and stuff, but that's really not what I ended up using it for. You know, I like it because it's, you know, tactical looking and stuff, but as I've said, I like to use my stuff, and especially when it's on the cheaper end and it's stainless steel, there's really no reason not to. It's not a collector's item. It's not a $400 knife that I would be crying if I dropped it and broke it. It's not that type of thing. Now, the edge retention, which I'm sure you're all wondering. The edge retention, well, this has held up pretty well, but I have resharpened it throughout the years, you know. I've had this for about 3 years, I think, and 2 of them I carried this constantly. So let's see how well the edge held up, you know, despite my attempts at resharpening. Keep in mind, before this video I only did a few strokes on the honing rod because right now I just really don't have the time to do a full resharpening, and I do my resharpening on whetstones. So by hand, you know, I don't have a knife sharpener that's really good that I can just go and done. So without further ado, let's see the standard, you know, A4 printer paper cutting test. Now I will move a bit away from the camera so it's easier for me, and I will try to adjust the audio, but since I'll be away from my phone, I'll probably be worse. Standard A4 printer paper. Let's see if it cuts it. It tears it, more likely, but okay, let's see if I put the knife closer to my fingers. Let's try changing the angle a little bit. So it does need a bit more of a touch-up is the conclusion to this one, but now the one thing I didn't mention is the belt clip, but since I've worn this for a while, it's obviously got a good belt clip and it hasn't gotten loose at all. I don't think I've ever had to retighten this. So, you know, if I had to say whether or not this is a buy or not, I would classify this knife as a buy. It's just good, especially for the price. Small disclaimer, due to inflation, this might have gotten more expensive than 22 euros. So if you're saving money, don't buy it, you know, don't buy stuff you don't need if you're trying to save money. Not sponsored by them, just this is my personal favorite. Now, standard vest clip test. Let's see. This acts as a little belt here. Okay, I need to push it back a little. So, locks in nicely.